Yeah, we had a quite cool day yesterday. In fact, this is kind of a look at some of the coolest max temperatures we've had for September 3rd, and it shows it to what we saw yesterday. So Hibbing actually broke that record because the coolest max temperature we've had in the past for September 3rd was 57 degrees. I think it was set in about 2000, but yesterday got to 54 degrees, and we got pretty close with the records. And honestly, you could almost consider we somewhat broke it, but there's a big caveat to that. As you can see, Cloquet got pretty close, 55 degrees there, and so it matched the record. International Falls was just a degree warmer, and Duluth a couple degrees warmer. And I mentioned the caveat, and this is that a lot of these warm temperatures, like in Duluth, Cloquet, going into Northwest Wisconsin with Hayward, actually the warmest temperatures were actually around midnight. That's because the cold front was just starting to pass on through, and as we got into the afternoon yesterday, we never had temperatures get as warm as it did at midnight. So Duluth, for example, yesterday you stayed around 55 degrees, so they very much around matched with the record. Cloquet got down to 53 degrees, so they actually broke that record. So that's just the caveat, but it was overall still a cool day. A lot of us got quite cool. Usually we're in the upper 60s, low 70s around this time of year, so it was a chilly one. And today is going to be a pretty cool one as well. A little bit warmer than it was yesterday. Highs getting into the 50s, some into the low 60s, especially as you go further south along the I-35 corridor, but it's still definitely cool outside, still 10, 15 degrees below the seasonal average. And that's because we still have these northwesterly winds, and as we start heading into later today, going into Friday, we're going to have a small system roll through, almost like a clipper, and it's going to start trying to pull in just a little bit more cool air out of the north. And so we pull this forward going into Friday. You'll notice the high temperatures are going to look more like Wednesday, highs into the lower half of the 50s as you go further south. Once again, the northern portions of Minnesota and some inland locations in the UP, we're looking at the upper 40s once again for those highs. So the cool weather is going to want to stick around through the rest of the week. And with that little bit of system, we're going to see the northwest winds pick up as well. By the time they get to Friday, they're going to be quite blustery once again, gusting over 30 miles per hour at times out of the northwest. So it is going to continue to be quite breezy. And that includes today, though a little bit lighter today. And if you're looking here at our satellite radar, not too much action. A little bit of rain over Lake Superior, but that's really it. Maybe some showers in the UP. But you can see out to the west, we're starting to see some clouds make their way in because we're going to have that little system that's bringing the winds and the cooler temperatures tomorrow. It's going to bring some rain. We're going to start seeing it for the western counties as we start heading into the afternoon. By the time we get into the evening, we're going to see it's going to be mostly south of Highway 2 heading into northwest Wisconsin. That's going to be the bulk of the rain is at as we start heading into the evening and overnight hours. And by the time we get into Friday, it's going to be mostly moved out, but behind it, we can continue to see some scattered showers sticking around. And when it comes to the rainfall totals, northern Minnesota is going to probably stay more dry, probably around 1/10 of an inch or less of rain. But once you get South Highway 2 going into northwest Wisconsin, you can see there showing around 1/2 inch of rain. So a decent amount of rain will be possible. And here is that upper level pattern, that trough that's bringing all the cool weather we've been seeing stick around here. We'll continue to see stick around for a bit. It's going to finally start to move on out of here, and we're going to start to see a ridge start to develop over the central plains. And when it comes to the temperature, what is the outlook is? Well, it's still going to be pretty cool by the weekend, but it's going to feel a little more comfortable. Sunday, we're again around 10 degrees below the seasonal average for a lot of us, but we're talking upper 50s, low 60s for a lot of us. So still cool, still feeling like fall, but a little bit more comfortable. And on top of that, it's going to be sunny as well. So Sunday, if you're a fall enjoyer, it's going to be a really nice day. But as we get into the beginning of next week, things will start to change a bit. We're going to start seeing the rain make its return, especially as we get into Tuesday. And if you look at here, the temperatures as we start heading into Tuesday as well, you'll notice we're now looking at upper 60s, low 70s. So we're going to start to warm back up, and that puts us around back to normal. So there's going to be a long stretch of cooler weather. You can see here on our 7-day forecast all the way up to the weekend, but we're going to start returning to normal as we head to next week. And we're going to have a couple of rain chances starting today as well as towards the beginning of next week as well.